Obviously, you saw reports out that in turning the play calling duties over to Thomas Brown. Those reports are accurate. It's always been part of the plan, something Thomas and I have discussed from the time that he was hired. I'm excited for this for Thomas. I'm excited for our team and our offense. Thomas is a stud. He's a great leader. He's a brilliant offensive mind. We all have a lot of confidence in him. And, sometimes, and I think the timing is right. This has been something, even from the beginning, that I've talked through with Mr. Tepper and Scott from the beginning of the season. Thought that this bye week was going to be a checkpoint. And really been thinking hard about it the last couple of weeks and kind of knew it was leaning this way. But here we are, and I'm excited to turn that over to Thomas and know he's going to do a great job for our team.
The duties of calling plays have been turned over to none other than Mr. Brown, the offensive coordinator. I'm happy to hear that. I want to hear from you guys. Chris Jenkins, credential member of the media, joined alongside my co-host Andre Cassidy, and together we are the men of the people. I'm going to share that title with my guy tonight. And tonight's show, 100% dedicated to talking to you guys. I want to know how you feel and want to know what questions you have. I want you to vent, whatever that may be. Just had a moment that I was going to talk about the giveaway that we're doing, and I realized the jersey, I left it at the office, so I cannot do the long-awaited opening of the Bryce Young jersey, but I have a pretty good excuse. So let me just right now say, I'm a very happy guy, and Andre might have a clue why, but he probably doesn't know how to put it together. So I'm just going to tell you, I'm happy because the Carolina Panthers have successfully completed their first 6 games. We're now in the bye week, and my wife did not have the baby during game day. So now we have 2 weeks to go where she can have that baby, but since we're all friends here, she's technically due Wednesday, but they'll induce her on Friday if she doesn't have it on Wednesday. So regardless, this bye week, Commissioner, I thank you for the scheduling to make this work out for me. But, I may miss a broadcast, but I will not miss a game. But nevertheless, that's another reason why I'm happy. And that's also why I left the jersey, because she thought she was going into labor today. And I was like, I think I'll be a little closer to home than being here at the office, and you probably yell at me. But nevertheless, we got links in the description. We want you to click on it, want you to come on the show, please. We had a great turnout yesterday of people coming on to the show. I think you guys are getting used to it. We're loving it. That's what we're going to be here for. And hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And yes, people that do join our channel have a special little badge, like my man Matt Chatter right here. He also gets sound effects and stuff when he comes on. But those that are members of the site will get more entries to win the Bryce Young jersey. So another little perk for membership, having its privileges. What's up, Andre? Man, your camera looks pretty good tonight, Andre Cassidy. What'd you do?
Hey, like I said, it's all because of you, man. You're just giving me the equipment, and I'm just utilizing it to the best of our abilities here. But, hey, I'm feeling pretty good. The news today was kind of a formality, if you will. I mean, it was kind of leaning in that direction, but we'll get to that more here in a little bit. But yeah, I'm glad to be here tonight. And for all of you out there who are tuning in, hey, I want to hear from you too. Like Chris said, do not hesitate. Hit up that link that's in the description. We want to hear what all of you have to say about this piece of news that took place today with the Panthers.
Yeah, it was, for me, it was a little bit of a surprise. I'll admit, I didn't know when it was coming. Maybe just because I hadn't really soaked my brain into trying to figure that part of it out. But what I felt like was going to happen was what will be the change that they make during the bye week, right? You cannot be 0-6 and not do something different. So for me, I was like, okay, well, here we go. There may be something else. And again, I haven't dug my head into that part of the operations over there for the Panthers, but I definitely feel like something had to happen. Here we are. Thomas Brown will be calling the plays. You know what? I'm excited about it, just so that we can have what seems like more uniformity in what we say and what we do. That's what I'll be at. I don't know what results are going to change. I would like to think there will be something different. But as you may know, if you've been watching, I've been so irritated by Thomas Brown after that Seattle Seahawks game saying we're going to grow from these explosive plays And the turnovers, now, of course, he can't control the turnovers because he's not throwing the actual ball, but he can call the plays. And now I feel like, well, if I hear Thomas Brown say, we're going to try to do X, Y, Z, we're going to try to establish this identity, I feel like it's going to happen. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and I'm excited about the switch up because, for one, you hear a lot of good things about Thomas Brown, even in the pressers. He just comes with a lot of insight and a lot of positive energy and a little bit of some youth as well. I mean, with Reich being in his 60s and him like almost in his 40s, there's definitely a considerable energy level difference between the two guys. Both are offensive minded, but I do feel like Brown connects with people more, and I feel like he has the capability of putting players in the best positions to be successful. And it's a welcome change because I think Reich does need to feel or needs to have his head in other parts of the team's operation, not specifically with the offense, but in other aspects of the team.
Was I correct in hearing you with some age slander there? I mean, you talking about old
I
people?
mean,
I
I
feel
wouldn't
like I
want
heard
to.
some slander there.
I don't want to say age, but energy levels are different when it comes to the two of them. Let me just say it that way. There's a different energy level with Frank Reich than there is with Thomas Brown, and I feel like it benefits Thomas Brown more with the kind of players that are in there compared to Frank Reich.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. We got some good comments coming. This is what we're going to do tonight. I promise. It seems like every week, every show, I'm saying, man, we got to get better at getting to these questions. We got to get better. But tonight, I'm just going to play one more clip, and then we're going to go through all the comments that are coming. And again, love it, love it, love it. If you click on that link that's in the description, that will allow you to come on the show, talk to Andre and I directly, questions, comments, venting, whatever it want to be. We go live for the reason of interacting with you. There's not one other source of media. I guess you could call talk radio if you want to call into there. But there's not a media where you got access to the local writers that cover the team day in and day out, where you can interact with them and directly ask them questions every single show. So we like to think that's something fun and that you enjoy it. And we're going to play one more thing here. If I can get it going, get it going, get it going. Here we go. Oh, so let me just cue this up in terms of what you're about to listen to. So we're 0-6, right? And we're making this change, going into the bye week, a good time to make this change. I think we can all agree on that one. But he was asked, hey, well, what if we were not 0-6? And of course, we can all speculate on this one big time, right? Let's say we were 3-3. Would he make the change? I don't know. But as I've heard more people speak, I think that this might be the truth. But here's Frank Reich responding to the question of, well, what if you weren't 0-6?
I believe I would have. I really do. I go back to the interview process with Mr. Tepper when he asked me what would be the intentions, and we talked through all the different scenarios depending on who the coordinators were, and then depending on who I eventually hired. And so when I hired Thomas, I knew it was going to probably happen fast, but I needed to get in season. I needed to get in season and see it all play out. And I'd like to think I'd like to think this is the best decision, no matter what our record is.
All right, all right. Let's see. Am I back? Yes, I am back. I got to change the video over. I got one more clip that I want to play. I see, Andre, I see that you done joined in. If you can, hold tight for a second because I want to try to play this one more clip from Bryce about it. I might have to wait a second, so just kind of hold tight while I do this operation over here that Andre can probably empathize with me more about now because he's been at the controls before.
I could feel your struggle, especially when there's like 30 different windows all on one screen. And you're like, man almighty, where do I go just to try to get this working here?
Yeah, at the home studio, I only have two screens, my laptop and my other one. At the office, I have three. And this is definitely a case where I wish I had three, even though you guys probably like, look, Chris looks like he's like Stevie Wonder over there just looking at everything. But anyway, that's probably going to take a minute. Let's see if we can get my guy on. Man, I can't even see. I'm scared. Is this the cops? What are we doing?
I'm here too. I'm here. I'm back.
What's going on, Andre? What you got for us tonight? Appreciate you joining the show. We hope that you are the first of many, that you're going to set the trend for people not being afraid to call from the darkness of their homes as they evade the police and talk to us about this Carolina Panthers team. I guess this option's better than putting a bag over your head, right?
Yeah, yeah. I believe that Tepper is still meddling in things, and because right now he's upset. He's very upset because of the decision that he made, and going with the offensive-minded coach. I've read a lot of comments that was like, why we get rid of Wilkes when he had more wins, or why we get rid of Christian, or why we get rid of DJ, and it's just like people don't see the reason why they did things or why they're doing things the way that they're doing them, and I don't either. And I just remember when we had Gettleman from New York,
Yep.
and he came and messed up the whole team, and then they fired him. And it kind of feels like the same thing. Like he comes,
Did we lose him?
Uh-oh.
he's going to get fired, and
there we
we're
go.
still going to be without a team. So I don't know. I just don't understand it. But I guess that's why they get paid the big bucks. I mean, he got what he wanted. Even when you think about the players supposedly signing a petition to keep Wilkes, and they still went with Frank, and they the results ain't even get better. Matter of fact, I heard somewhere that we haven't went 0-6 since like 98 or 99 or something like that.
1998.
Yeah.
Man, we last time we was 0-6. I didn't even have any kids, and I got 4 of them now.
I wasn't
got-
even alive.
Yeah,
when
I got
that
kids
happened.
in college, kids having kids. I'm a granddad. That's a long time.
So I feel like Tepper is kicking himself now, and probably mad at his wife because she helped him make the pick. And
Not mad at
don't get me wrong.
Nicole.
Not Nicole
Yeah,
Tepper
don't
now.
get me wrong. It's okay for women to watch football, to love football, but when we picking coaches, like we need you just to keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself.
Andre, you gonna make me find some new sound effects for what you're saying, man. Woo! The comments that you hear are not the express written consent of Charlotte Vibe Company. They are solely the responsibilities of Andre.
Yeah.
And it's not me.
What's the other Andre? Was that it, man? We're right at the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, that's fine, man. Thank you for
Oh,
letting me
man.
on again, and I can't wait to hear from y'all again.
All right, man. I'm gonna find that new
Appreciate
sound
it, man.
effect for you. Wow, he's he's going Charles Barkley on us right there with those kind of
man.
comments, right?
That's as blunt as you're gonna get right there, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. I love it though. I love that. But I mean, he does make a lot of good points though, about Tepper and how involved he is in terms of, speaking his opinion on how the team is going. I mean, hey, look, they had that conversation at their 0-5, right? Where, hey, we're not going in the right direction. I'm not satisfied with where things are going. But at the same time, like, yeah, you're justified to have that conversation with the people who are in power, like Scott Fitterer and Frank Reich. But at the same time, you got to let them do their jobs. Like, this is their first year, specifically with Frank Reich and the coaching staff. Obviously, you're going to have some heat with Scott Fitterer because he's been around for 3 years. But it is concerning how involved Dave Tepper is with a lot of these big name decisions that seemingly are not panning out right now.
Okay, hold on. I think we may have something fun to add to the. Gosh, if only you guys knew some of the challenges. You don't hear it, but right now there's a very loud noise in my ear. Andre can't even hear it. That is distracting me from doing my
Thank goodness
job.
I can't, man.
Yeah,
Because that would be quite the situation right there.
No, you'd be laughing if you heard it. All right, let me see if I got it. A little bit delayed here, but nevertheless, you will like it. You will like it. So this is for Andre who just called. You ready for it? Wow. All right, so let's go ahead and pick it up. Hopefully, you guys are loving the comments. I'm sorry, the sound effects. Mike can turn it up just a little bit. I think Andre got in here and turned it down. Let's turn it up a little bit. That's a little bit better, right?
Okay,
All right, let's go through these comments here. Let's talk. Well,
let's do it.
let me play one more video if I can. And this is Bryce Young himself talking about this change. So you heard Frank talking about something that he kind of thought would happen, something he probably would have done if they were 0-6 anyway. Because it's the bye week, I think it's why we got the chance to talk to Bryce early today. They will be off tomorrow. We will not have any media availability. They will have something on Wednesday, but it's not yet known how much access media will be given at that point. But safe to say that from Thursday on, the players will have off, probably returning back on Monday. So we're still going to bring you some good content. I got some things that I'm working on, even though you probably heard me say this 1,000 times. That baby of mine just continues to make things a slight question mark for if and when what's going to happen. But I'm going to play this clip about Bryce, and then we're definitely going to get into these comments. We got some good ones coming. We only have one caller so far. I want another caller. We got another member that's been on here. So anyway, let's go ahead and work through this. Bryce Young.
How did just the change now with Frank giving up the play calling? How did you find out about it, and what was your reaction?
Yeah, they talked to us about it as a team. Coach Reich told us, and I'm really excited. Coach Reich had talked to us throughout the year, and this was something that even in training camp it was something that he said was we were always working towards that. He'd made that known, far before even the season started. We didn't necessarily have a timeline when. We didn't know when, but we always knew that this was coming, and I'm super excited. I'm excited for the future, and I'm really excited.
What have your interactions been with?
Bryce is excited.
I can feel the excitement.
And we're just going to keep it rolling. So how does this work, Andre? The people who call into the show get to do what?
Oh, they get to jump the line for one.
Yes. They get to jump the line as well as the members and the super chatters. So we got, I don't see this person quite yet. So I'm going to hit the button and hopefully their video is going to come in. And I will tell you the name that popped up, which I'll admit for a half a second had me like, huh? Let's see if it comes up. Uh-oh. Can I hear you? I don't see it.
My camera's blocked right now.
Say it again?
My camera's blocked right now.
All right. So right now, that's fine. We'll work with you. I wonder if I could show it with you not on there. But anyway, the name came up as Scott Fitterer Hater.
Oh man!
But at first I just saw Scott Fitterer and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fun. What you got, Scott?
Reason to not hate him.
Go ahead.
All he's giving reasons to hate him, bro. I mean, this guy is the bane of our franchise. He is ruining our franchise every single day. He needs to get fired right now. I mean, when you look at his decisions, bro, all his decisions have put us in a worse spot. Like giving up DJ instead of Derek Brown Burns. We would have had another receiver. The freaking Sam Darnold trade, the Matt Corral trade, all these moves. That's why we have no depth on the roster. And then, bro, Hassan Reddick's an elite edge rusher, better than Burns. We let that guy walk too. Like, what is we doing?
Hey, Scott, I feel like you're in one of those places where, like, you can't talk as loud as you want to talk and how you want to talk. But if you could, we would hear even more emotion and disgust at how you feel about this team. How accurate is that?
I'm in my car right now. I'm driving.
You don't want to wake up the kids?
No, I'm good. I'm just tired right now too. So
I hear you. Definitely
Gotcha.
appreciate you calling. How you feel like Scott? Has he done anything good? Can he save his job?
he signed Frankie. That's
Okay.
it. Now, aside from that, what has he done any good?
You're breaking out a little
What's a
bit,
good move
Andre. I don't know if
aside
you.
Can you
Yeah,
name a
all
good
I
move
heard was
aside from
Frankie
that?
Louvu.
All right, Scott. We are having a tough time hearing you. So if you can, go ahead one more time. You got about 40 more seconds, and say your comments again.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, like, what good move has he made aside from Frankie Louvu?
Oh, what good moves besides Franklin and Luvu? Um, you could say Bryce is a work in progress, so you can't count that one
Right.
yet. But he did get in position to get Bryce.
Maybe signing Thielen. Thielen's good. Aside from that, he's done nothing.
Yeah, Thielen's good, but you're right. There's been a lot of things that haven't worked out as well. I know for me, Matt Corral could be one of those ones that pop out. Matt Corral isn't
Exactly.
even on a team right now, and we
And
drafted
we
him in the
traded up for
third
him. We
round.
traded up for him. And fucking DJ Johnson, we used up. We traded up for him too. He's getting healthy scratch.
Right.
Yeah, and DJ Johnson, yeah, are the immediate. So there's certainly more not blockbusters that you think of instantly when you come to thinking about him and the moves that he's made than the big things, because something like a Brian Burns, who's still good, was here before him. And Christian McCaffrey, who went away, was here before him. So there's a
And
lot of
we
people.
traded him for pennies. We traded CMC for pennies. What we get for
Basically,
him?
yeah. Didn't even get a first round pick for him. I mean,
Pick
that's the part that still
61.
blows my mind to this day.
So we used the picks we got from him on DJ Johnson.
Yeah, and well, it helped us to get Bryce as well in that
So
package
DJ
to
Moore,
Chicago.
CMC, bunch of picks for DJ Johnson and Bryce Young. Was it worth it?
I would say you feel like absolutely not. But hey, Scott, appreciate you calling in, man. It was great talking to you. Sorry we had the little technical difficulties. We were kind of talking over each other a
No, it's
little
all
bit,
good,
but
bro. Yeah,
hopefully you'll
take care,
come on
man.
again, man. We hope to be your your sounding board to get you through these rough weeks and times, because it sounds like he's not happy at all about what's been going on. So, but really appreciate him calling in, taking the time to do that in his car. I got to come up with a better graphic so when they don't have the video that we can still have them
Right.
on and it look a little bit more pleasant. All right, let's go ahead and continue to work through these comments.
Let's do it.
Ali Broderick says, "Welcome back," and he says, "What are your thoughts on the change?" We've already touched on that, but I appreciate you. Both of us feel like it's a good thing. Carson Henson, now let Dante go or trade him. Andre, I told you tonight, I'm going to give you a bunch of these toss-ups. You can at any point toss it back to me. Go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, Dante Jackson. That's an interesting one because they did sign him a couple years back over guys like Hassan Reddick and Stephon Gilmore, like our guy was talking about earlier. Um, you have to look into it. I mean, let's just be real about it, right? I mean, he got toasted yesterday. He was burnt toast out there against Tyreek Hill. The questions continue to be like his health and his inability to stay disciplined. He's very aggressive, but he always gets beat because of his own aggressiveness. So I would say, yeah, you're gonna have to consider it because for me, he just has not made any noticeable leap since really his rookie year when he broke out. It's hard for me to justify his spot on the roster if, for one, if he can't stay healthy and if he's not producing. He hasn't. I don't believe he's had an interception yet up to this point in the season. So the results are not there for him. So you gotta cut your losses at some point with him on that one.
You guys are going to make me be a fact checker tonight, huh? With stats and the such. Now, I will say
Yeah,
this. I believe that pretty much anybody would have been burnt toast on the cheetah this past Sunday. I don't feel like Dante would have been the only one that was burnt toast on
and
that
I
play.
and I will say this to his defense: there should have been a safety over the top. He shouldn't have been one on one on that deep throw there at the end of the first half. There should have been some safety help.
I hear that one too, but I feel like that wouldn't have mattered on that play. You could disagree with. Here's why. That play wasn't like down the middle. It wasn't a little bit inside the hash. It wasn't dead sideline, but it was pretty close to the sideline.
Right.
So for a safety to have help and beat on that play that's very close to the sideline as super fast as he is, I think we would have just been like, oh, he mossed two people instead of he just mossed one person, right?
Right. But that
Um,
has to be in the scouting report, though. One of the things that you have to do against a guy like Tyreek Hill is don't get beat deep. And there was at least 5 yards of separation between him and Dante Jackson there, especially at that critical point in the first half. That literally swung the momentum of the game right then and there. It was just piling on after that one touchdown.
Oh, I have another comeback for you. I want to fight with you, but I'm going to go ahead and get to everybody else because we
Right.
said we were going to be committed to it. But I want to fight with you, Andre. Gosh darn it, we're out of time. I hope you guys appreciate the discipline. That I'm like, we're going to be men of the people and talk
We're
to
going to be
everybody.
on it tonight. We are going to be
Yes.
on it.
All right. Nas says Panthers 2010 greater than Panthers 2023.
Oh man, that's tough. That you're telling me a 2-14 season is better than what we're dealing with right now? You can make the case, but I mean, it's way too soon to say at this point. Way too soon to say. Do that in December. Do that in December when we're towards the end of the season, and I'll tell you how I truly feel about that.
Michael Johnson, if this is the second Reich, I'm really worried about the next one. I don't know if I quite get that one. Do you quite get that one, Andre? Maybe
That's
if
over my head.
Maybe if this is a second chance kind of thing, then he's really, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the second iteration he's made a change. Michael, give us a little bit of clarity if you can.
Give us some more context.
Underground West, Frank shouldn't have waited this long, to be honest. Man,
Hey, that was part of his plan. He keeps saying that there's this plan, this master plan that he keeps turning back to whenever he makes these kinds of decisions. But there's no way that this was something that he was going to wait this long on, especially with the results that have taken place thus far. There's no way. I can't vibe with what he said in the press conference. There's no way that this was something that he was going to do anyway. I think this was a reactionary move because of things not going the way that many thought they could have, and there were conversations internally about moving it over to Thomas Brown.
But what about what Bryce said? Bryce said they all knew that this was part of the plan. They talked about it even before the preseason. So I feel like that kind of kills that.
I feel like it's PR. Again, this is all PR. Consistent messaging with the coach and the player, just so there's some continuity there. I think this is just all media speak. There's no justifiable reason for why you make a move like that if you're 3-3 or 4-2. Like, if there's success, you don't make a move like that. It's hard for me to believe that, honestly.
But Bryce's PR talk is typically like, I respect what they're doing around here. These coaches are good. I trust what they're doing. I'm just going to be following what they say. That's Bryce's coach speak. But for Bryce to go and specifically say, we talked about this during the I don't think Bryce
it sounds too convenient to me. And maybe that is the case. Maybe it is true. But to me, I just feel I'm skeptical about it. There's just something that feels off about the messaging behind it. Again, if you're in a situation where you are 4-2, 3-3, I don't think they make this kind of move this early on. I think they know people are frustrated.
We're 6 games into the season. We're almost a third through it.
Yeah, and people feel frustrated, and they see the frustrations that the fans are doing, and they had to make a decision, and they had to make a change. You can't make a change or cannot make a change with how things have gone so far. So I think this is their one thing that they wanted to adjust to appease people, if you will.
Hey, I need somebody to come on and help argue with me and Andre because I really want to go at it, but, with time restraints and wanting to get through all the questions.
Right.
But if you guys called in, that would be at least another 2 minutes that we could have a tiebreaker to say, what do you think? Do you think that Bryce was just following a little PR plan to make it seem like this was part of the plan, or do you feel like he was sincere? We'll see what they say. We'll keep it moving, though. I don't know if I put this up here already, but Rodney W. says, what's good, Chris and Andre?
What's going on, Rodney?
Leonard Kowalski says, greetings and salutations, Chris, Andre, and Panthers Nation.
Okay.
Appreciate you. Do you think Frank is saving timeouts for Christmas presents? Michael, I think you need to call in, man, and just get some of this stuff off your chest.
Oh, man.
I like it.
That's pretty funny right there. But, hey, it points again to, Frank Reich having to focus more on other aspects of the team, not just on the offensive side of things. Maybe that's something he needs to focus in more is his time management, which has been a problem so far this season as well.
Michael Johnson showing a little bit of his age here. Where's Dom Capers? Is he at Death Valley or Ericsson Stadium?
Oh,
gosh, who remembers the Ericsson? Did you ever have an Ericsson cell phone? I'm pretty sure you did.
No. Oh, no. This is the 90s that we're talking about, Chris. That's before my time, my guy. I'm a 2000s kid.
Leonard Kowalski says, you want me to remove the bag from my head. I
Do you
like
have
that.
one on your head? Oh, is
Well,
that in his profile, or
I think
or
he's
did he
just,
have like a picture of it?
I think he just maybe, figuratively saying that. But you know what? There's a good point with him saying that I'm going to show you a few images really quickly, if I can be as quick as I think I can.
I believe in you.
You believe in me?
I
Well,
believe in you.
why don't you set up what you probably know that I'm doing?
I think you're gonna have a picture of this guy who had a sign that says, "Through it all, 0-5, I'm down here in Miami supporting this team," and he had a pretty sweet looking mask to go along with it as well, with his whole attire there. I think that's the one that you're pulling up there.
You got it. I think I got a few of them here. Hey, this is a Charlotte Vibe exclusive. I hope you guys are enjoying it. All right. And I guess add to the wish list of as we grow and our revenue can get help. I want a full-time production guy that's over there at his booth that's controlling all this stuff, and I can be
Right.
like, hey, hold on, I hear in my ear that we have the piece.
And
But
boom, it's right there.
yeah, but until then, here we go. This was one of the pictures yesterday, seen from in Miami. Excuse that me and Andre are kind of cut off on the edges there, but he didn't have a bag over his head. He's just been a pretty good fan out there for the Carolina Panthers, so that's a pretty cool one. And here's another one. There you go. That's truly a bag over your head, right there. Carolina Panther fan down there. He got blue eyes too. Oh, he got on sunglasses. You see the blue? Oh, I forget, Andre. You're working on a slight delay. But there's a guy with the bag over his head and wearing a Christian McCaffrey jersey. Not bad,
Oh,
not
there we
bad.
go. Yeah, I'm seeing it now.
And then we got one more here. Perhaps the same guy. Perhaps the
Could
same
be.
guy in the stands. Man, everybody in Miami has on shades. Like
Hey,
every guy in this picture except one. That's pretty cool. But anyway,
quite hot down there yesterday.
just to show you
87
that
degrees.
you would not be, Leonard, the only person with a bag over their head. All right, let's keep it running. Let's keep it running. Hi, Chris and Andre. Andre, you want to do a little promo?
Promo for our super chatters. We'll do that. Hey, we're here for you, man. This is why we do it. We're here for all of you, and hey, it's greatly appreciated. Anybody who's out there who's willing to chip in and help out the cause here for Charlotte Vibe as we continue to grow and continue to be more consistent about how we put our content out there. Exclusive content as well, like the ones that you just saw there from our wonderful photographer, Patrick Snyder. So yeah, feel free to chip in because this is why we're here. We love doing it for all you guys, and we want to continue to grow. So please, if you're willing and able, please do so.
So, hi, Chris and Andre. They changing the offense play calling. However, I don't feel like it's going to make a huge difference. Still have the same personnel. I hope we establish an identity. Any trade rumors? So, Andre, you can feel free to fill me in here or fill in anything that I missed. But trade rumors, the one I laugh at the most is Terrace Marshall Jr. Just in the sense that, I mean, you could trade him, but it's not going to be anything that's like, ooh wee. It's going to be like, what's my man, Emir Smith, Morset? I don't know that we got earlier this year, kind of like a project guy that he's been getting some punt returns, but really hasn't developed into anything yet. Of course, you have the Brian Burns, which could be a big deal in terms of getting us other assets, but it would be also the biggest dent and taking away a formidable guy on the defensive side. Even though you might could argue about how consistent he has been, he's still
leading the team with sacks with 4.
Yeah, he's still our guy. He's still our captain. And then you got also Jeremy Chin, which, the Jeremy Chin one I feel like is a pretty good, interesting one because I do feel like Jeremy Chin has been one of these mystiques, right?
Right.
It's like he has so much ability, but what is that ability going to be? And it just doesn't seem like it's been anything other than I don't know if it was year one or year two, but I know it was against Dallas, right? That he had the back-to-back touchdowns from the defense, and it's like, oh,
Minnesota. It
it
was
was Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Okay,
It was in Minnesota the COVID year back in 2020.
yeah,
And the thing with Jeremy Chin that's just so bizarre is like he's such a gifted individual, but they just don't know how to use him. Like he's not even out there for more than disregard that. Got my phone going off here. But
we didn't hear it.
yeah. I mean, yeah, they just don't know how to use him. And it's so frustrating because again, he has that capability to play as a linebacker, as a nickel or safety. But they just don't even have him out on the field. And so it's like if you're not gonna have him out there, then what's the whole point of keeping him on the team?
Hey, Noah, we're going to get to you in just 1 second, but anybody out there disappointed in Justin Houston? You probably forgot who that is, right? Anybody
Shows
out
you.
there? Do you have
It just shows you. Yeah. I
do you have
mean,
any reaction to it?
yeah, it's disappointing because he hasn't. I mean, yeah, when you brought him up, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot he is on our team, and he hasn't really made much of an impact. Really, I mean, he's a veteran presence, and there's leadership there, but you expected more, obviously, out of a 1 year guy who's had a pretty solid career up to this point. But nothing really has happened here in Carolina as of yet.
Two quick comments, then we're going to go to our guy Noah, who's waiting patiently in the green room. We're up to what, 3 callers tonight? Man, imagine if I had brought that Bryce Young jersey tonight to give away. This thing would be cooking. But all right,
Oh man, it'd be going off right now every 5 seconds.
Justin Houston got 18 snaps yesterday, 27%. If he's only getting 18 snaps, aka 27%, man, it must be nice to be getting that fat check and get vet days.
Right.
Like, why are we resting a guy who's only getting 18 plays? He gets a vet day like once a week.
And he's only in there for what, 30% of the time?
Man. And then Jamie Robinson, he said that he would be one of the first guys to rotate in. He only got 1 defensive play yesterday. I don't know. But let's go ahead and get Noah on. He probably has some good stuff.
Let's get it.
Probably has some good humor. What's going on, Noah?
Hey guys, I came in at the very
I feel like we have some very bad audio from you, Noah.
bad audio.
Yep. I don't know if you can get the phone closer to your face or something, but it was kind of weak.
Is this better?
I think
There
so.
we go.
Think so? Okay.
Yes, it's
Well, I was
better.
gonna pull out my headset, but if this is good, this is good. Okay. I came in at the very end of the play calling conversation, so I don't really have an opinion on it because I don't know what y'all were talking about. But I have like 4 other things. So first thing, what do we think about trading Miles Sanders? Because we have Chuba, who's looked great. We have Blackshear, who's looked great. We have LaVishka, who may be out for a while. We don't know. But I think we can get something for Sanders, like a 3rd or a 4th rounder or something. So if we already have 3 other running backs, we might as well trade him because if we're going to build for the future, we don't need him taking $6 million off of our cap. That's one thing. Second thing, I live in Houston, so I watch the Texans games, most of them anyway. Even though the Panthers are my primary team, I'll go for the Texans unless they're going against the Panthers. And when the Texans played the Falcons a couple weeks ago, Jesse Bates jumped Stroud's passes twice, the exact same way he jumped Bryce's passes, but Jesse Bates dropped him, so nobody talks about it. So I just wanted to point that out for all the people who are doing the comparison between Bryce and Stroud and all that. Stroud made the exact same mistake that Bryce made back in week 1. Another thing, I looked at a graph and it was showing our wide receiver and tight end separation compared to league average, and everybody on our team was below average, including the tight ends, and Bryce was still throwing 60% completions. So that speaks to Bryce's vision and anticipation, again, for the people who are all comparing Bryce to Stroud and all that. And then last thing, what do we think about the possibility of drafting Muhsin Muhammad III Musa Muhammad's boy from Texas A&M, because he's being way underplayed. Like, he had an amazing season in 2022. Y'all can go back and watch his highlights, but they have not even been playing him much at all. So his draft value is going to drop. So I have no doubt he'll still be available in the second round. And I just see that as an interesting possibility of us getting the next Musa Muhammad on the Carolina Panthers. That's all I got.
Hey, I got to give you a round of
Okay.
applause, man. You come with it pretty good. You got a nice list. He's like, I only got 2 minutes. I'm going to get my 4 and get out. So really, really appreciate you tuning in. And I look forward to you cheering for the Panthers next week when we play Houston.
Absolutely. I will do my very best. I don't care what the record is. I am all in for my team.
Thank you so much.
I like it. I love the enthusiasm.
Hey,
There.
we have a guest appearance, I think.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. He might
Who
be
could
used
it
to
be?
these lights. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's ready. Last week he was scared.
Oh man, look at that.
Look at that. Look at all that cuteness right there. His eyes are looking at all the screen. He's like, Mommy, don't go far.
He's like, what is going on over there?
I'm going to try to figure this out. We'll go solo screen for it. Oh, yeah, he's pointing at the other screen of you, Andre. Because there's... Yeah, that's Andre right there.
What's up, bud? How you doing?
And then look, I'll put him here, and he's now on the screen up there too. Yeah. Say, I'm about to have a sister.
Are you excited?
Mm-hmm.
Are you excited to have a sister?
Are you excited that you're about to have a sister? Why?
Why?
He said, "What? Well, that's Andre. Don't say why. Just say who is that?" Yeah, and there's you. Hey, what did you say? Every day. Hey, what did you say? You would like to see the Panthers win in your lifetime? What does that look? Oh, okay, yeah, that would be good. Daddy's never.
He's thinking about it. He's definitely thinking about it. He's pondering on that thought there.
All right. Hey, when is your sister coming?
Oh, sister coming.
You know when she's coming?
Do you have the insider info on that one? He's like, nope.
All right, we'll let him go away. Thank you for coming on, man. Well, yeah, he used to be.
Oh man!
Look at there. Give us some likes for that. Our analytics should go out the roof for that impromptu bit of cuteness that just came on there to help bring up the show. Hey, so hit the like button if you think that cute kid should come in once a week. And if you like that, I have lots of kids, so we could do this every week. We could have a different kid come onto the show and grandkids and have some fun. So I tried to keep track of everything that he said, and we're going to go back through it. So I believe his name was, man, I forget. I'm not even going to try to remember all that. Do you remember the name?
I don't. I'm going to be real with you.
Yeah, I got so many screens within a screen going on right now. But
too many distractions.
Yes. First one, trading Miles Sanders. So, good thought, just not enough return in a good situation to get anything out of it. It's almost equivalent to the Terrace Marshall Jr., except you're probably going to lose some things. Like, we all know about houses and being upside down or selling your car and you're upside down. It's worth more than you owe on it. So in this case, we have to pay Miles more than he's worth. And when you get rid of something that's worth less, then you're kind of taking a step back. So I don't know if you'd really want to do that, take a step back. But Andre, I know if you had a comment on that part.
Yeah, I think you're going to consider it, but I just don't know what you're going to get back for him, especially with the contract that they just paid him this past offseason. And I think it's a 4-year deal as well. So that's the other aspect that you have to consider. If you're a team trading for him, I mean, maybe you can get him on a contending team that could be, missing that one piece or have an injury at that position. But I just don't think you're going to get much in return, maybe a late round pick. But it's already a lose-lose situation. All you can really hope for is he continues to try to make some improvements and try to make that contract worth something, right? But yeah, it's not a good situation with how things have started out for him thus far.
Okay, and then I'm going to try to talk about something else that he just put up. So hopefully I can do this fairly quickly as well. Give me just a moment.
But I will say this too for him, like that is rare for a Houston guy to be a Bryce Young defender. That says a lot about where his priorities lie in being an objective viewer of the two quarterbacks. CJ Stroud, yeah, he's had a pretty solid start to his career, but he's also been quite fortunate. And he specifically talked about those two dropped interceptions from Jesse Bates on really two of the same throws that Bryce Young got picked off of. So, I mean, there have been some fortunes going his way and not in Bryce Young's favor. But, for him to say that, that's pretty abnormal for any Houston fan right now, because they would obviously try to deter their views away from that.
All right, and let me pull up this chart. Oh, look at there. Is that what I want? That's not like I want it to be. Did I? Hold on. Here we go. We're going to do this here. Booyah. So that's not the detail, but hopefully you guys can see it. So he talked about the separation. So thank you for covering that part, Andre, in terms of the Bryce's mistakes. I will say this. Let me get back to me. I have the family dynamics going on right now have been incredible. Like, one kid sounds like he fell down the steps, and mom's like, "Are you okay?" And the other kid now is just like, using his voice improperly to mom. And then mom's pregnant. So, but nevertheless, I forget where I was going with that. So let's just go ahead and put this back up on the screen. Unless, Andre, do you remember what I was about to say? Or did I not even get into it?
You were about to show some graphs with the separation with the receivers and the tight ends, or lack thereof.
Lack thereof. So here's what we got. Things that the league average is basically, and I don't have a cursor to show you, but if you're looking at the graph on the left, that's the Carolina Panthers. And those are our wide receivers and the separation they were able to get this past Sunday. And anything that's outside of that dark black circle is basically you're doing good. You're at the league average. Anything that's inside of that black circle means you're a little bit behind. So we do have Adam Thielen, who was our best person to get open. And kind of here's why. He had 2.3 yards, 2.34, 2.35 yards of separation. Next up was DJ Chark, and that bodes well because he was also the second leading receiver yesterday.
Yeah.
He had 2.34, and then from there gets significantly worse. Laviska Shenault with 0. I don't know how you get to 0.
I guess with all the screen passes that you get.
Terrace Marshall had 1.74, and Hayden Hurst had 1.15. Right beside there is your chart for the Miami Dolphins. And of their 4 guys, not one of them was below the league average for separation. Not one. Tyreek Hill, D. Smith, Berrios, Jay Waddle, all well over 3.5 yards of separation. So basically, quick math, I'd say I'd give them 1.75, 2 yards that the entire Dolphins receivers had separation beyond that of the Carolina Panthers. So, and with that, Bryce's stats were, let me see if I quickly have that. That's the defensive side. So here's the support of it. Thielen had 13 targets, 11 receptions. Next up was Chark, who had the second best separation. And Laviska, he did have 3 targets, 3 receptions. Dang, he had 3 targets and had 0 separation. But anyway, I don't want to get too much on that because we gotta speed it up a lot to get through some more of these things. But I appreciate the call in from our guy there. And let me also go ahead and show one other thing about Bryce and his progress, which I think has been pretty good.
It's been noticeable.
Sorry for the fact that you see me and Andre at the edge of this graphic here, but you can see it. I didn't want to waste time trying to crop it properly. But I appreciate this graph. Even with Frank Reich calling the plays, I appreciate this graph because what it shows, or I should say chart, it shows variation It shows I went left. It shows I went right. It shows I went to the center. And he even attempted 2 passes above 20 yards, which would be an explosive play. And yes, Chris Jenkins, take full credit for that because I've been putting those charts out there. I talked with the coach about it, and I feel like he said, just get the media off our butts and just throw it down there, throw it over his head, and, that's what they did. Now, those passes did not look good. His deep passes did not look good yesterday. Andre, did they look good?
They didn't look bad, but they didn't look good. I'll say that. So, I mean, there's definitely some room for improvement there. But again, I mean, there were more attempts for getting those explosive plays. But I don't recall one time yesterday where there was a deep shot over the top. And there wasn't one yesterday, and that continues to be the theme again so far. And I think that's part of the reason why they made that switch over, because I feel like they're at a point where they're like, we feel comfortable with him. Now we got to open it up, and I think Thomas Brown's going to open up the playbook for Bryce Young to do what he does best.
Hey, just a quick favor. We currently, as this live show, have 38 likes. That's currently live how many likes we have. I want to get 50. So, everybody watching, and there's more than enough to get this happening really quickly. Everybody that's watching,
We could do it.
do me a favor. I will greatly, greatly appreciate it if you just went to your phone, tap like. It costs you nothing. Helps Andre and I out tremendously to continue to grow in what we do and have players and coaches on the show. So start hitting that button, all right? We got to get to 50. I might say we won't get off until we get to 50, but I don't know if I can say that because there's a lot going on behind that door. All right, so trying to hit this speed round, we're going to make sure that we hit all of our members first because memberships has its privileges.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if I got this one already, but Michelle Yvette said, hey, guys, joined late, but so happy to hear that the baby will be here this week. Thank you so much. Man, I've been ordering baby stuff all week. But that's what we do, right? Not buying Reich, turning over play calling. He also said that he will collaborate. That's interesting. So you're thinking that he's just, so this could be another show. Because on this one, you're kind of like on Andre's side here that says this was the whole PR thing. And she just took it another level deeper and said,
she did.
He's not really going to turn it over. He's just going to say it, but he's going to collaborate. So that could, I like that.
Michelle, I like you. I vibe with your thought process there. He's trying to get a step ahead of the game by not taking any blame for any of the bad play calls. So he's just going to pin it on Thomas Brown. Yeah, we're not going to go into the conspiracies, but I do see a little conspiracy behind it.
That one's deep, man. I want to get into that one. I'll be honest. I usually don't go into conspiracy theories, but that, unfortunately, if that's true, like, man, that's doomsday.
A conversation. That's a conversation for another day. But
that's doomsday because that means we're going to be bad.
Oh, boy.
All right. So the Mad Chatter likes you. Says, hello, Andre.
What's going on, man? Hope you're doing well.
Oh, look, see, Matt Chatter saw it. Truck be open deep, but Bryce threw a duck. Yeah, his deep balls were awful looking yesterday, man. Awful. I mean,
when you ain't got a stable pocket to throw from, man. I mean,
you can't throw a spiral out of bounds. I mean, it could be short, it could be long, but those things, like he said, it looked like a duck, man. They were.
I'm gonna have to look back on the film.
hey, you're allowed to say that. Andre's role during game days is really keep his head down, manage our social media, put those great photos out there that our Patrick photographer gets to us. But they were just like, I honestly say that the media has done him a favor and not talked about how those deep balls looked. In my opinion, because they looked bad. By the way, we're up to 46 likes. We just got to get 4 more. I know you can do it. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Y'all know what to do out there.
I'm going to, again, try to, let's see. My kids are giving my wife a hard time. It's like they know.
She's holding it down,
I'm
man.
gonna have to come out of here like this. I can't put
Just
my
be
hoodie
all
on.
low key.
It'll
Got to be
no.
low key.
I can't. Let's see. Even though we lost the game again, I was happy with the outcome. Bryce, no turnovers, and a lot of throws were on point and very accurate. Also, the run game looked better.
Yeah, I would say so. There was definitely some progress made in the game yesterday, but you do want to see more consistency throughout the course of the game. I mean, after the first quarter, the offense didn't score any points. So again, there are still some things that is holding this team back on that side of the ball that need to be addressed.
I'm thinking about this next comment and how to put it out there without being cruel. I guess I just have to put it out there with the fact that the words, I forget how I said it earlier, are not necessarily that of Charlotte vibe, but I'm just gonna show this one out here, and it says, "Can we get a wellness checkup on Matt Corral?"
Oh my!
Yeah, I'll keep on moving.
Hey, there's still some Matt Corral fans out there, man. For better or for worse, there's still some people out there that are still rooting for him.
We got more for DJ Moore than we did for CMC. That is not the case. So I'm not. I don't know what the word is, but I don't remember all the intricacies of the trades, and I don't know all the intricacies of Cap. But I do know for CMC, we got several picks, and we have been able to use those picks to get Bryce. It was like a combo. It was like we stacked a few with CMC, and then we also got some did some stuff with getting when we sent out DJ Moore, which then allowed us to get the number one pick. So
Right.
it wasn't like we didn't get anything. We got a lot for him, and we used it to combine to get ultimately Bryce. Without that CMC trade, we do not have enough to give to Chicago. We would have had to give up DJ Moore and somebody else. I forget who Fitterer said that all they wanted for that, but he knew that they had to give up a big piece to trade up to number one.
Yeah, it's between DJ Moore, Derek Brown, and Brian Burns. I think those were the three players that Chicago wanted that Fitterer ultimately had to choose from in order to make that trade happen.
Lisa Lewis says Reich never should have been calling the plays in the first place. Now this team is 6 losses deep, so now he's running after he's sunk the team. Angry face.
Hey, there's validation behind that statement. I mean, again, I'm going to keep saying it. It just sounds too convenient for that to be the case. This was part of the plan. This is part of the plan. I don't know if this was part of the plan being 0-6. I don't know if this is part of the plan to make that kind of decision after not winning a game at any point in this season. I digress.
After the baby, I'm going to see if my wife won't let me do an hour and a half, 2-hour show, because I think one day we need to do a longer show, because that will allow me to fight this guy and everybody else. Tyreek
Right.
Burns, everyone says Antonio. I agree. Andre is trying to give Dante a bad rep. That guy's still super fast.
Okay.
It's funny they said that before because everything about Fitterer reminds me of Gettleman.
All right. Okay.
My man Chance Hines, I'm at work, but I think it's time to see what we can get for Burns and Chen, and if it's good value, we should take the deal. And we are in rebuild, and we need draft picks for those peeps. Help us out for the future.
They can't be in denial of that anymore. That question was brought up last week, and Frank Reich said that we're
I
always
think your mic
building.
is bumping into something, Andre, like your zipper or something.
Yeah, it could be actually. My apologies on my end. But yeah, here's the thing. You don't have enough talent. You don't have enough depth on the roster. You're going to have to make some moves at some point. The trade deadline is a little over 2 weeks away. Those tough decisions are going to have to be made soon because, again, we don't have a first-round pick next year. We got to start acquiring assets at some point to be able to build for the future for this team.
Kevin Farrell says, no O-line, receivers can't get separation, which leads to sacks, and no run game. Need to focus on O-line and get a solid, speedy receiver, and the rest will fall into place. So I do like that. Some receivers.
Yep.
But it's, I don't know. I'm going to keep it moving because I don't want to get too long on these comments. I want to try to get to a few more because we're already 2 minutes over. Willie Smith says, I had a revelation on Sunday. I'm going
I
to
gotta
continue
hear
to
this.
watch the Panthers, and I know what I'm going to get. I will take good play when I see it and win if we can get it. I think he kept it short, but his revelation was we're not going to be good and lower his expectations is
Right.
what that sounds like.
Accentuate the positives and try to keep it reasonable.
Hey, I like Leonard. He says, passionate debate, great content, Chris and I. See, the people want, man, I'm telling you, I forget what we were arguing about, but I wanted to finish it so bad, but I want to get through more comments. But what's up, Supernova? Appreciate you. Let's see. There's a comment that I'm not sure of.
And again, to everybody out there, thank you for leaving these comments today. There have been some juicy ones in there tonight that has caused a lot of debate between the two of us. As much as we want to go at each other with it, we're trying to be, respectful of everybody else who's leaving their comments as well. So definitely appreciate all the love in the comment section here tonight.
Leonard Kowalski said he heard 10 to the Eagles is the only one that he's heard.
I did hear that rumor.
West says I had high hopes for Terrace Marshall Jr. Not anymore. See if we get one more good one before we get out of here. JT shaking his head at Justin Houston with only 18 snaps, saying he's old. Brian says all of our free agents have sucked.
Not Adam Thielen. I think he's been the one solid pickup out of that group of players. But I think everybody else you can make a case for.
Trading known players for draft picks will set the team back. Hold what you have and let this superb coaching staff prove their worth. Now, I do say that there's a little bit of something to that, right? If we just calm down the debates and hot takes, if you will, and the conspiracy theories and said, what if this was true? What if Coach Reich had planned this all along? What if they're going to have a team building event out in Asheville with all the coaches where they go to the campgrounds and do the little trust fall with one another and the other exercise where you juggle the balls? It's like, hey, what happened here? It's like, oh, Frank Reich has all the balls. Why? Well, because he's trying to do everything. Man. Frank, give one of those balls to Thomas. Frank, give one of those balls to Deuce. Look, now the team can deal with all their issues. So, maybe we can get a little GoFundMe page together in case Tepper doesn't want to expense the team building in Asheville, which is only 2 hours away. I think they could go glamping and just come together. But in seriousness, I do think that is a possibility that could happen. Right now, I would say most of us don't see it because we haven't seen anything to the likes of, Deuce Staley was just such a talked about coach for his charisma and his personality and his drive. And you really haven't seen, much come out of a Miles Sanders and what you may get from him. You got Dom Capers, who seems like it's just a name on the marquee, right? You haven't heard Coach Frank Reich talk about anything that, hey, Dom Capers said this. You haven't heard things of impacting nature from the other coaches that are on this all-star staff. So I don't know what they're doing, but you would like to think that maybe they could have that retreat, and they have the brain power. I guess from that standpoint, you think, man, they do have the brain power and the history that they could do something like that. Andre, I went too long. We're over. Whatever closing. You know what? We got one more light to give, but Andre, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, I'm just going to touch off of what you just said there. I think, when you look at the experience with this coaching staff, something's got to give, right? This trend that we're seeing right now, 0-6, I mean, yeah, it's rough. It is rough.
We have reached 50 likes for our video.
Hey.
Thank you all so much for that. Andre, continue on. I'm sorry.
We love to see it. But, with this bye week and with some time away, I think this will allow the guys to not only get healthy. I mean, we had so many players down and got hurt yesterday. I mean, throughout the rest of the NFL, but again, with Carolina, there were so many injuries. But this will give them the time to renew, refresh, and get a little bit of R&R because this has been a tough stretch to start out the season. They will open up against Houston after the bye week, and there's some games in there where, hey, it could make or break the trajectory of this season for this team. I mean, there's some 3 winnable games coming up. So, nevertheless, we will have you guys covered for those games coming up. The bye week is here. Carolina still without a win. Charlotte Vibe will still have you covered despite the winless activities up to this point in the year. But we're here. We're going to keep on grinding it out through thick and thin. We're going to keep pounding, as they say, right? But thanks again for everybody who tuned in to make this a part of your evening tonight, for all the comments, for all the call-ins, all the love that was shown here. We really do appreciate it. So for everybody here, for Charlotte Vibe, Chris Jenkins, Mondre Cassidy, have a good evening, everybody.
Well, I'm not officially letting you end. I do have one comment. I always do this every
okay.
time to this guy, right? Like I said, go ahead and wrap it up. Just like I got one more.
Keeping you guys on edge.
Oh
there.
man, so many comments came that I think I lost it. Here we go. Frank is probably a normal man in America at that age and doesn't listen to anyone else.
Y'all making him sound like he's on AARP or something. Like he's 60, he's 62 years old, guys. He's not old yet. But man almighty, y'all making him sound like he just has like a hearing aid and he's just grumpy. I mean, that's funny.
Hey, lots of positive comments.
Man.
I can't get to them all. I love my wife dearly. I will not abuse her grace in letting me do this show late night. So for Andre Cassidy, I'm Chris Jenkins for Charlotte Vibe. We'll see you shortly, and we appreciate you all so much. Tune in for that special hour and a half, 2-hour super show. But until then, good night.